the answer to anyone's prayers. If you want to take the measure of someone, you judge them by their deeds, not their words. Simple as that. Elias preached of saving the world while standing atop a mountain of corpses. Then there was the Wanderer. Everything Elias was not. Tainted by Lilith's blood, and yet able to resist her corruption. That was what I witnessed in the Wanderer's deeds.
Oh, we're at the end of Act 3.
That was when I started to think that perhaps together, we could keep the evil at bay.
Nice. He's doing his little wrap-up.
Must have been gruesome in that cult of his.
Yay! We finished Act 3!
More gruesome than the rest of Sanctuary's underbelly.
Nice. Well, while injured, your potion also grants barrier health. Oh. It's neat. Oh, both my pants do that. Plus 16, but I'm giving up. Oh, yeah, no, that's not worth it. I'm sorry we couldn't save Mashif.
He deserved better. Damn it. I brought him into this.
Act 4, let's go! Why is the sightless eye just on the ground like a piece of garbage? Where did the sightless eye come from?
It's a relic from when the world was young. For many years, an order of rogues called the Sisters of the Sightless Eye kept it safe.
Yeah!
Not sure how they lost hold of it. But I've heard the Sisters are not as strong as they once were.
Well, they've been through some shit.
Knowledge of their craft has spread to others. But most rogues you see these days are not true members of the order.
Unlike Elias, the cathedral believes the prophecy is about Inarius.
Of course. Their entire faith hinges on it. Inarius is the spear that will pierce hatred's heart. The knight's penitents are the weak made strong. Prava is the mother who will mold a new age from the ashes. They found a way to weave themselves into every part of it.
Silly goofs. Taisa, feeling better?
I can shut out Andario's whispers most of the time, but not always.
Better a whisper than having her walk the world again. Andariel is part of Lilith and Elias's plan. But how? What do we know so far?
Lilith made a deal with Astaroth.
A demon who served her father. Interesting choice of ally.
And she has a key to hell.
A place where she's seen as a traitor. So why would she go? And is she already there? We need answers. Elias used the Sightless Eye to contact Lilith. Perhaps it can help us. Bring it here, would you? It's risky, but we haven't got a choice.
Aha, it's mine now. Has Echo Hellbrass done anything cool? I mean, he was considered one of the best sword fighters in the modern empire. Like, he was incredibly gifted at swordsmanship. I think he killed a Grand Master of one of the knightly orders in a duel while he was on his escape to the north. He also, like, literally walked all the way up to the Realm of Chaos, deep into the Realm of Chaos, to Tzeentch's realm, where he went through a trial where he fought, like, a different version of himself. So he kind of fought, like, a mirror of what he wished he had been. So instead of being, so it was kind of, he fought, like, a noble Imperial Knight version of himself. Like if he had gone down a different route in life. So he destroyed his literal doppelganger. And that's like kind of what secured him to actually becoming Echo Hellbrass. Though it's kind of unclear which version of him won. Like it's a weird little story. But I mean, probably the most unique thing about him is how strange his mutations are, or his powers. Like, the fact that everywhere he walks causes life to spring up, like permanently marking his trail as he walks the world, is really, really fascinating. And also his sword is implied to be like pseudo-sentient-ish, or at the very least he can control it without needing to hold it, which is really interesting.
When you're ready, picture Lilith in your mind and gaze into the eye.
All right, cutscene. Oh, baby.
My father's essence is reforming.
How do you know?
I feel it. Like 1,000 old wounds ripped open again. He's still weak. Vulnerable. I must strike before he can resist.
Make his power yours. The other lords will.
She can see me. Ah!
What happened?
She saw me.
She knows we're looking for her. Only
Mountain
a
Man,
matter of
thanks so much for the
time
Prime
before
sub.
She comes after us.
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
Mephisto is reforming. And Lilith aims to take his power while he is still weak.
So, that's what you've been preparing for.
Hi, Queen Jen. How you doing?
All right, old man. Think. Think! If she takes Mephisto's power, she'll become like a prime evil herself. She'll be able to conquer hell and sanctuary alike. I have an idea how to stop her. But for it to work, we'll need the help of an old ally. Deliver this message to Doman. He'll have gone to Kyovashad for guidance.
If Lilith consumes Mephisto, could it help Sanctuary?
It would strike a blow against hell, that much is certain. But is it really for our benefit, as she claims? All her actions are driven by hatred. That is her nature, and she can never change it.
You're saying she has plans beyond protecting humanity?
I'm saying it's impossible to know. She can peer into hearts, tell us what we want to hear. You've seen it with Donan, Elias, and others. To trust her would mean gambling with the fate of all humankind. Not a risk I'm willing to take.
What'd you write in the letter?
The beginnings of a plan to thwart Lilith. One thing's for sure, we need a soul stone. And that means we need Donan. He'll understand when you deliver the letter.
Donan should be itching for vengeance. What do you know of Andariel, Taisha?
More than I care to now. Her pain is primal, wordless. Once, she was part of something more. She doesn't like me to think on it.
It's interesting. I'm curious if the other evils are gonna make an appearance. Because, honestly, the story seems ripe for all 7 to kind of play a part. And, like, we haven't gotten to talk to Andariel, but we're close. I mean, she's literally sitting right inside another character. And then we have talked quite a bit with I'm curious if the other ones are going to show up. You're excited for me to experience part 4? Me too. What can I tell you about Felix Mann? Remind me who Felix Mann is off the top of my head. The thief. Oh, is that the thief that stole Vlad's ring? Yeah. Yeah, so Felix Mann is actually kind of an interesting character, though there's not a lot on him. The general gist of it is that Felix Mann was considered the greatest thief of the age. Like, there was no challenge too great for him, and he had a lot of very, very deep faith in his abilities and had proven himself to be a massive nuisance to like Imperial authority, as well as numerous other like bigwigs and such for quite some time. However, one of the issue with him is that he got too self-assured. He got cocky. And he was captured and imprisoned by the Empire in Altdorf. So he was captured and imprisoned in the capital, and he was basically given a life sentence. He was locked away, and it's very, very likely that he was never going to see the light of day. Of course, then the Siege of Altdorf happens.
No, I'm not a guide, but you can't throw a rock without hitting one around here.
Let's see. Okay. Well, okay, let's... Basically, though, he gets himself into a tiff of trouble. He pisses off enough people that there's finally an organized attempt to capture him. They do successfully capture him. And he's left to languish in the prisons for, pretty much forever. However, during the siege of Altdorf, the Grand Theogonist at the time is trying to figure out a way to save Altdorf and, by extension, the Empire from Vlad, because Vlad has showed up and he has given his usual speech about you can either serve me in life or slave for me in death. Those are your choices. And the Emperor was considering giving in to Vlad because he just couldn't think of a way to defeat him, and thus far Vlad had completely and utterly crushed every force sent against him, because he was invincible from what they could tell. Like, even in fights where someone managed to kill him, it was a temporary reprieve, and they would kill him only for him to magically reappear within like the next day or a few hours, or at the longest like a couple of weeks. But he would always come back, no matter how badly he was destroyed or whatever. So, as far as they could tell, he was quite literally invincible. And just wouldn't stay dead. So, the Grand Theogonist tells the Emperor, no, let me commune with Sigmar, let me pray for an answer, and Sigmar will aid us. Sigmar will reveal a way to defeat this foe, surely. And the Emperor tells him, all right, you got like X amount of time. So the Grand Theogonist he goes down into the depths of the cathedral, and he basically starves himself. Like, he refuses to eat, or any of that stuff and purely focuses on praying to Sigmar for answers and guidance. Now, at this point, Vlad has functionally won the war. He has Altdorf completely surrounded. He can, like, pretty much taste the Emperor's terror on the wind. And the Empire just doesn't have a realistic way to stop him. They don't know how to kill him. And as long as Vlad is alive, there's really no hope of victory. So after quite a bit of like hemming and hawing, or praying to Sigmar and all this other stuff, what ends up happening is that suddenly the excuse me, the Grand Theogenes is struck by what he believes to be the voice of Sigmar, telling him how to defeat Vlad. We know, of course, that it wasn't Vlad, or it wasn't Sigmar actually talking to the Grand Theogenes, but instead it was Manfred, because Manfred did not want Vlad to win, because Manfred feared that if Vlad won the war, that he would become a genuine eternal emperor and there would be no way to break free of his influence. Like, Manfred will be trapped forever beneath his father's shadow, and he wanted to avoid that. So he uses his magic.
After everything brushed aside,
he uses his magic to whisper into the Grand Theogenes' ear how to defeat Vlad, and says, you must take the ring. You must take the ring from Frodo. So the Grand Theogenes knows, okay, we need to steal a ring from the most powerful vampire to ever live. How are we going to do that? And so he goes to Felix Mann. So he goes down into the prisons to Felix Mann, who Felix Mann was very likely either a priest of Renauld or a blessed of Renauld at the very least, seeing as he was like an uber thief. And the Grand Theogenes flat out tells him, if you go out and you steal Vlad's ring and bring it back, we will forgive every crime you've ever committed, and we will also like give you whatever you want. Like, you'll be a free man, and we will also reward you however you wish, because you'll have saved the Empire. And if you don't do this, we're all going to die, and we're all going to be like made into mindless slaves for eternity. And Felix Mann's like, all right, that's fair. So Felix goes out. He sneaks out of Altdorf during the day, because that's when the vampires are at their weakest, and most of them are resting in their coffins during the day, and the undead were just kind of like stationed outside Altdorf preparing for siege, but had not fully committed to the siege yet, because they were still waiting for the Emperor's response to Vlad's terms. So Felix sneaks out, and he is the greatest thief of the age, so he's able to get very, very close. And he's able to sneak past all of the undead guardians protecting Vlad's like personal tent, where Vlad and many of the other elite vampires are sleeping in their coffins, and he is able to approach Vlad's body, slip the von Karstein ring off his finger, and then he flees out of the camp and runs away and vanished. What we know is that Manfred made sure that Felix succeeded. So Manfred not only pretended to go to sleep and wasn't, but he killed any of the other vampires who were supposed to be awake. And he also used his sorcery to blind all of Vlad's guardians so that they couldn't sense Felix's presence. And then as soon as Felix got the ring and escaped, when Vlad wakes up, he flies into a rage, because that is Vlad had serious anger problems. So he flies into a rage, discovering that his ring is gone, and he launches the assault on Altdorf, where he inevitably dies. Well, Manfred did not participate in the siege. Manfred knew they were going to lose. So as soon as he was able to, he snuck away from the siege of Altdorf, and he goes after Felix Mann. Manfred von Karstein eventually catches up with him, and then he kills him. So Manfred murders Felix, kills him, takes the von Karstein ring, and he hides it. and we never find out where he hid it. Vlad's ring does not appear until the end times. Canonically, it does not reappear until the end times when Nagash uses Manfred to resurrect Vlad. And presumably Vlad's either able to sense where his ring is, or Nagash forces Manfred to tell him where it is, and Vlad's reunited with his ring. But that's the story of Felix Mann, though. He was a pawn in Manfred's schemes. A very important pawn, but a pawn nonetheless. I have a letter for you, Donan.
Good news for once, I hope.
It's from Lorath.
Wonderful. So, Lars, Lilith, entering hell. It's Soulstone. What? Is he serious?
What does it say?
He didn't tell you? No, of course not. That would require some basic degree of consideration. It's written in our code. He sent a plan, though calling it that is generous. He wants to imprison Lilith with my Soulstone, the one that held Astaroth.
Can it work?
Certainly not. The stone needs to be attuned first, and he will need an expert for that.
Lorath thinks that expert is you.
Then he is even more foolish than I thought. Go to the Horadric vault, will you? I'll dig up what he needs. You can deliver it, and maybe then you'll leave me alone.
Poor Donan. Why didn't Manfred take the ring for himself?
Did Lorath offer you his horse for the journey? No, wait. What am I thinking? Of course not. I'm old friends with the stable master.
Yes!
Tell him I sent you, and he'll offer you a steed.
We got a fucking horse! Let's go! Was there something in the letter that angered you?
It's not what was in it, but what wasn't. He didn't even have the decency to mention. It doesn't matter now.
Yeah, it didn't mention his son.
Come down from the mountain, yes. But he's still the same man who went up.
Why didn't Manfred just take the ring for himself? I'll answer that in a second. Did you come to see Inarius?
For all the good it did. After Scots Glen, I hoped he could give me, I don't know, forgiveness, guidance, anything. He spoke of the prophecy. His campaign against Lilith. I offered my help. But all he said was, what use has a general for a broken soldier?
Jesus, Inarius.
Faithful penitents.
Oh!
A prophecy has been delivered to me. One that speaks of a glorious future.
He's here himself.
Tears of blood rain on a desert drool, and the way to hell was torn asunder. Then came a spear of light, piercing hatred's heart, and he who was bound in chains was set free. You've all heard rumors of the demon Lilith, the daughter of hatred. It is my spear that shall pierce her heart. The chains that hold us to this world shall be cast off, and on my wings I shall lift us all to heaven.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work out. Reverend Mother Prava. You said Vigo would be in good hands. He's dead.
Then his penance is complete. I knew he had the courage. This is what he wanted. He is cleansed now, free from his sins.
Inarius murdered Rathma, his own son.
Who are you to judge his divine will? Murder is a sin committed by mortals, not by he who created this world and breathed life into our kind.
So, based on what we know so far, I'm pretty sure Inarius is going to go into hell. Probably will fight Lilith. He's probably going to lose. And I imagine she is going to take his spear and use it to kill Mephisto. That is what I'm currently expecting based on the prophecy. Because, like, ain't no way it's about Inarius. And it says pierce Hatred's heart, not the daughter of Hatred's heart. So I'm pretty sure Mephisto is going to die. But, which don't confirm or deny if that's correct. I am merely speculating out loud. Oh, back to Manfred. Why didn't Manfred take Vlad's ring? So it is implied very heavily that functionally the Vlad von Karstein's ring. Oh, there's an ad going. Hold on, I'll wait till the ad's over. I actually do like that I can actually see the ads now. So I don't have to... Stable? Oh.
Take care, traveler.
I'm a friend of Donan's. He said you could provide a horse.
Donan? Ah. Now there's a good man. The champion of the faith. Not like that old crank you were with earlier. What was his name? Lorfam? Morath? Doesn't matter. I know Donan's been through some hard times of late, so I'm happy to help him however I can. Take one of my steeds, free of charge.
Oh my god, I could ride a horse! Mounts can be purchased from Stablemaster or discovered. Oh, you can discover them. Once acquired, they're available to all characters. Once you have a mount, press Z, space to burst speed. Mount can be scared by too many monsters. You can select your summon mount and customize at the Stablemaster. Oh my god. Yeah, sure, I'll ride the terrifying demon horse. This is where my trophy for the beginning would be if I had it. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I can finally ride a horse. I'm so happy. Did your horse forget its skin somewhere? It's my Necromancer horse. Alright, so we need to go to the vault. Oh, we're gonna be able to get around so much easier now. Through. Oh, it has abilities? Leap from your horse and slam into the mount, unleashing a trail of spikes. Jump off. Huh. I wonder if, what's-her-face is still here. Have you found your things?
Haven't even gone in yet. We have an intruder.
Yeah,
It's not like that. She's but a child.
You brought a child? Here?
It was she who brought me, actually.
Yeah, so we've got the father whose son was killed by Lilith, and we've also got the little girl whose mother was killed by Lilith. Interesting party. Nayrel, that's right. Hey, you.
Watch where you swing that staff. It's not a toy.
Who is he?
He once lived in this vault. The one you're trespassing in. Explain yourself.
I'm a student. conducting research on the Haraj Rim. What's left of you all, anyway?
A student, huh? You have a teacher? Don't tell me Lorath has taken another apprentice.
I don't need a teacher to study. Lilith threatens Sanctuary as we speak. I need to prepare for that. With or without help.
You? Against Lilith? Well, I came to get my things. I pray they were free from your meddling.
Come on, Donan, chill. Hey, Nero, good to see you.
I used to be like that girl. Had more dreams than I knew what to do with. Let me unseal this. Chakid. Chespit Hilm.
Nice.
The stone will need to be attuned to Lilith before Lorath marches up to her. It won't hold her well otherwise. I put together some notes on the process before I left.
You have a bat problem. Alongside the tools, a few scraps of paper cover the table, but there are...
The old workshop. Lorath, Elias, and I would spend days on end cooped up in here. Experimenting. Debating.
Good old college days.
Nothing to hold us back but our own imaginations. And how much of each other we could tolerate.
But there are never more than a few hastily scrawled sentences written on them. Books covered with meticulous notes, scrolls featuring lengthy alchemical formula. Somehow you get the sense that everything is half finished, one project after another abandoned in search of a new discovery. Every tool has been stored away with care, and the books have all been arranged by their proper subject. Oh, tidy desk, haphazard desk, and eccentric desk. Wonder which one of them is which. Like your Total War campaigns? How many campaigns have you completed? Complete? Wait, you can finish campaigns? The average Total War player.
The mage Donan has proved to be a wonderful addition to our order. The man has knowledge in spades. Any topic, even the most mundane, becomes profound in his care. He challenges my perspective in a way few have. We've made solid discoveries in the short time we've spent together. I suspect many more to come.
First things first, Lorath will need my notes. Soulstone magic is treacherous, even in the most skilled hands.